Every evening, as the golden hour cast its amber glow over the city, a boy with torn shoes and a bucket of soapy water appeared outside the Glass Lily, a fine dining restaurant known for its elegance, its marble floors, and its glittering chandeliers. He would wipe the windows with worn-out newspaper pieces, scrubbing away with quiet focus as customers dined behind the glass, barely noticing him, except when they frowned at the smudges he missed or dropped a few coins into the coffee tin by his feet without making eye contact. His name was Raphael. 14 years old. Motherless. Father missing. Living with his sick grandmother in a crumbling tenement a few blocks away. He had been cleaning those windows for 3 years, ever since his grandmother's legs gave out and she could no longer work the laundry job she once held. The coins he earned weren't much, some days, not even enough to buy bread, but it was honest work. And Raphael believed if he scrubbed hard enough, maybe, just maybe, something would change. What he didn't know was that someone was watching. It started the night of the thunderstorm. The rain lashed at the windows, making Raphael's task almost pointless. But he had no choice. He had to try. He wore no raincoat, just an oversized hoodie someone had once left at a bus stop. As he stood outside the restaurant, soaked to the bone, scrubbing the glass, a tall man in a gray suit and dark eyes watched from inside. His name was Charles Whitmore, the restaurant's silent co-owner, a wealthy entrepreneur who had come in unannounced to inspect the property. As Raphael worked, Charles noticed the boy kept glancing inside, not at the food, but at something on the far wall. A painting. A landscape of a sunrise over a village. Charles remembered it well. He had painted it himself during his early years before wealth consumed his time. Curious, Charles approached the window. Raphael, startled, stepped back. The boy's eyes widened. He hadn't expected to be seen. "You're always here," Charles said, opening the door slightly. "Even in the rain?" Raphael nodded, unsure whether to speak. His voice was hoarse from days without rest. "I don't want charity. I just clean. I only take coins if people want to give." Charles didn't offer money. He simply said, "You like that painting?" Raphael nodded again. "It makes me feel like something good is coming." Charles didn't respond then. He just closed the door, returned to his table, and ate his meal. But he didn't stop thinking about the boy. Over the next few weeks, Charles kept returning to the restaurant. He'd watch Raphael, then disappear. Raphael never asked questions, he was used to being invisible. But one day, something changed. As Raphael arrived with his bucket and rags, a man in a white shirt stood waiting by the door. Not a customer. A staff member. "Mr. Whitmore wants to see you," the man said. Raphael froze. "Me? Yes. Come in. You can leave your things here." He was hesitant. Afraid. The only times he had stepped inside buildings like that were when security escorted him out. But something told him to go. Slowly, nervously, Raphael entered the Glass Lily for the first time, not as a cleaner, but as a guest. The lights were warmer inside. The air smelled of baked rosemary and garlic butter. The seats were velvet-lined. But Raphael's eyes went straight to the painting, still in its place, glowing under the soft chandelier light. Charles waited at a quiet corner table. "Sit," he said. "I shouldn't be here." "You should. I've watched you work. Every day, without complaint. No one notices what you do. But I do. And I think you deserve better." Raphael's eyes welled, but he blinked quickly. "I only clean. That's all I know." "No," Charles said. "You observe. You endure. You persevere. And that means you can learn." What followed was a conversation Raphael would remember forever. Charles told him about his own past, how he grew up poor in a town where windows weren't made of glass, but cardboard and duct tape. He spoke of a teacher who had once believed in him and how it had changed everything. "I can't forget where I came from," Charles said, "so I won't forget you." That night, Charles offered Raphael something more valuable than coins, a chance. He gave him a part-time job inside the restaurant, washing dishes and learning kitchen basics. It wasn't glamorous. It was hard, greasy, and tiring. But Raphael accepted. He worked before and after school, and sometimes instead of school when his grandmother's health failed. But Charles kept him on the path. Helped with his education. Encouraged him to study business and culinary arts. The staff, once skeptical, came to admire Raphael's honesty, humility, and hunger to learn. But the road wasn't easy. One night, his grandmother was rushed to the hospital. Raphael had no money, no insurance. He was ready to quit everything. But Charles stepped in again, quietly paid the bills, arranged home care, and never once asked for repayment. Years passed. Raphael rose from dishwasher to prep cook, then sous chef. He graduated high school with honors, helped by tutors Charles arranged. And when he turned 22, he stood on the same floor where he had once wiped windows, now in a chef's jacket with his name embroidered on the chest, Chef Raphael Sorin. Charles was there, standing quietly near the painting. "You made it," he said. "No," Raphael said. "We made it." That night, Raphael cooked his first full-course meal for the restaurant's anniversary gala. The guests raved. The staff applauded. And outside the window, as the evening drew in, a small boy stood watching, tattered clothes, hopeful eyes, and a bucket in hand. Raphael walked to the window. Their eyes met. He opened the door and smiled. "You hungry?" The boy nodded. Raphael stepped aside. "Then come in. You're welcome here." The story of Raphael teaches us that kindness doesn't always come in grand gestures. Sometimes, it's a coin. Sometimes, a conversation. But when someone believes in you, even when the world doesn't, it can change everything. So, if you see someone wiping glass, don't just look through the window. See them. Because behind every streak of soap and dust, there might be a dream trying desperately to shine.